Hello everyone, it's Shannon here for Waffle Flower Crafts. In this video, we are going to do some ink layering using the new Paint Strokes Stencils that just came out in Waffle Flower's November release. We're going to start with the stencil itself. This is the Paint Strokes Stencil. I really love this design. I think it lends itself to creating some really beautiful, clean, and simple cards. I'm going to start with my card base. This is an A2 top folding white card base made of 110-pound white cardstock. I'm going to add some painter's tape to the sides, and then I will grab the stencil and center it and place it right on top. Since I'm planning on ink blending each little paint stroke a different color, I need some more painter's tape to kind of mask off nearby paint strokes. So I've just masked off those ones around that little corner there, and I'm going to start by ink blending that corner with picked raspberry distress ink. Now that I've ink blended that, I've went ahead and moved my painter's tape over so I can mask some more ink strokes off, and then I'm going to ink blend that other little corner. Basically, I'm going to use 5 colors of distress ink, and I am kind of ink blending at diagonals with the colors just to kind of keep my spacing consistent, so these colors are spread fairly evenly around. So you can see me, I'm now repositioning my masking or my painter's tape here to mask off the other paint strokes, and then just ink blending that little section. So I'm going to repeat that process till I have all of the paint strokes that I want with raspberry ink blended, and then I'm going to put my painter's tape up on my mat here and just clean it with my damp chamois, dry it a little bit, and then repeat this process for my other colors. So my next color here is Candied Apple, so I just masked around that ink stroke or paint stroke and then ink blended it. I'm going to repeat this again for all the colors, so it's starting to get filled out here. I'm now on Spice Marmalade. Now I'm moving on to Mustard Seed. And again, you can see I'm kind of going diagonal with these colors. It just, again, keeps the kind of spacing apart so they're kind of making a pleasing pattern. I'm finishing up here with my last color, which is Peacock Feathers. And once I have that done, I can remove my stencil. You can see such a beautiful, bright, vibrant background. Of course, we are not done. We're going to do some more ink blending, but before we do that, I am going to stop here and clean my stencil. Again, I have my damp chamois, a paper towel or cloth underneath, and I just wiped it clean with my chamois. Now I'm going to reposition this paint stroke stencil kind of so it's overlapping the 4 corners of each one of the strokes. And then once I've got that in place, I've masked off again adjacent paint strokes, and I'm ready to start ink blending. Again, going to move down, kind of do this diagonal ink blending and just work my way through again all 5 of these colors till I have it's completely ink blended. Now, because I did kind of position this offset, I wasn't able to get the bottom row, just the way the position I kind of ran out of solid or complete ink stroke. So I'm now going to position it again just so I can finish up this last row of paint strokes. So now that I have it in place, I'll just press it down. Again, I'm going to mask. This time I'm going to have to clean my painter's tape between each color, because this last row here, I'm going to be using all 5 colors. So I do have to stop and kind of clean my tape between each one of these, just so I don't kind of take some of that color that's on the tape and bring it into the open area of the stencil and mix my colors. So now that it's all done, I remove my stencil, remove my painter's tape, and here's my completed background. Really pretty, bold, and vibrant, and I love how when the ink layers over the different sections, you kind of get these little bits of new colors, like a little bit of purple and a little bit of green. I just think it's really pretty. So I'm now moving on to stamping my image. This is the Herb Silhouettes stamp set. I'm pulling off some of the herb images or some of these silhouettes of plants and then placing them here in the center. I even will kind of change the way the stems look a little bit. You can see here I'm kind of manipulating that stem so it just kind of has more of, so it's not kind of like just sticking right out to the right there, so it has more of this natural fall down towards the center. And I'm just going to continue to place these stamps and then ink them up in VersaFine Onyx Black ink and just stamp this kind of center or this focal point image arrangement. And I just really love how these black silhouettes, they just really pop and look beautiful against that really vibrant ink blended background. It's just a great way to kind of calm it down and just creates a really pretty look. So I'm just about done here and we're going to stamp this last herb. again using VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And now that I've stamped that, I'm ready to move on to my sentiment. So I've grabbed a sentiment also from the Herb Silhouette stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it on some scrap gray cardstock. Again, I'm going to ink it up with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Now that I stamped it, I'll just trim it so I make a little sentiment strip. And I'm basically ready to complete this card. All I'm going to do is add a little bit of foam tape to the back side of my sentiment strip. This just to pop it up a little bit, add a little bit of dimension, and then I'll center it right over my cluster of herbs. And that will complete my card. And I'll hold my card to the camera so you can get a good look at all the details in this card. I love this ink blended background. It's so pretty. Again, I really like where the ink layers on top of the other. It just adds so much depth, a little bit of a new color. And I think the silhouettes, the herb silhouettes, is just a great way to kind of complete the card with a very simple but bold focal image. I hope you guys enjoyed today's card and video. If you'd like any more information on the products I use, please head over to Waffle Flower, and you can follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for more creative ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.